Yo, what is going on? Welcome back to the Beaver's Dam. I'm the Beav, and this is a place where we buy games, we talk about games, we play games. Today we are taking a look at the most expensive Spider-Man game, one of the rarest and one of my favorite. This is none other than Spider-Man Web of Shadows. I absolutely love this game, and if you guys don't know what this game is all about, this is basically a post-apocalyptic New York, and you're Spider-Man trying to save the city from basically zombies. I mean, they're symbiotes. You have Venom as the main villain, but I mean, they're acting just like zombies. They're eating people, they're trying to infect other people, and the city is just completely destroyed, and you have to save it. Now, before you guys go ahead and try and fact check me about the whole most expensive Spider-Man game, I am only talking about mainstream games, so I know that at some point there's probably been an old Nintendo game that's probably worth like $100 or more, but we're just talking about mainstream.
Okay.
And please don't try and look up prices on DK Oldies either. Like, this isn't a bash on DK Oldies, but they are way overpriced. Instead, I would suggest you guys go check out GameEye. This is not a sponsor, but GameEye, please freaking sponsor me. I'm gonna stop using your app. Anyways, GameEye is an app where you can keep track of your gaming collection, and on top of that, you can keep track of the prices. They rise and fall every single day, and they just take the average price amongst like 4 or 5 different websites that sell old games or just games in general, and they take the average price of all of those websites, and that's the price that it gives you. So Spider-Man Web of Shadows for a complete inbox is currently going for somewhere around $85 right now, and Edge of Time is going for like $50, $55. That being said, let's start talking about the game, because that's what this video is all freaking about. So first up, we have the cinematic intro. This is probably one of the best intros in any superhero game. It's all dramatic. It has the dramatic music, and you guys just need to check it out for yourselves. I know I'm probably going to get copyrighted because I don't want to take the music out, because it just builds on to that intro. So if I get copyrighted, guess what, YouTube? I don't give a darn.
You have it, don't you? You know what that does to you. You know how it can change you.
If that thing gets control over you, still an option. Got me.
This city is going to be ours. Just wait and see.
When this is said and done, who will the people remember as their savior?
So let's talk about some of the bad aspects of the game, which really, I made a list and I could really only come up with like 2 negatives about the game. And the first one, I think the most noticeable one, is the bad camera movement. But this game came out in like 2009. You can fact check me on that. I don't know if that's exactly the year it came out, but somewhere around that time, in the late 2000s. And I feel like every third-person action game kind of has this problem with the games in that era, but this is like especially bad. Like, I'll literally fail certain missions because I just lose track of my character and I go off somewhere that I don't want to go. But other than that, the game's very, very fun. Second con, I wouldn't really call this a con or a negative. I know that a lot of people would. If you like the immersive story you probably would call this something negative about the game. But to me, it just makes me laugh, and it's just there for comedic relief, to be honest. And that is the absolute cringiest and worst dialogue I've ever seen in any type of video game, film, anything.
Yours truly are all gonna be your new best friends.
So, what's the plan?
Tonight, at sundown, in the park. Be there or be square. MJ! I was so worried!
Damn it!
You best play it cool, man.
Is it really you this time?
Come on, we gotta go.
Look, I promise I won't use it again.
You promise? We are way past that.
We ain't got time for this.
Like, you literally, like, your whole attitude throughout this entire game is just bully Maguire.
Where's Cage and his search party? The civilian volunteers! Pretty redhead, arm in a cast! You are no help!
Even though, like, throughout the game, you're making choices. So, obviously, Venom's in this game, so you have the symbiote Spider-Man. So if you're making good choices, then your little icon shows the red Spider-Man. Or if you're making bad choices, then your icon shows the black, or the colored Spider-Man. But it seems like no matter what choices you make, your attitude stays the same throughout the whole game, and you're just like a bully.
Bully Maguire.
Anyways, it's just the most cringiest dialogue, and it makes me laugh every time. Now, moving on to the positives of this game. First off, this is my favorite Spider-Man game of all time, and I put tons and tons of hours into it as a kid. Now, there are only two ways to play this game. Regular Spider-Man or Black Spider-Man. I mean, you can switch in between, but I'm talking about choices. You play the game exactly the same, it's just pretty much the ending is different. So there isn't too much replayability, but as a kid, just playing as Spider-Man in a zombie apocalypse was amazing, and I just kept on replaying and kept on replaying. But on top of that, it's just the fun gameplay. But on top of that, you have the super cool cameo characters that you have in this game. Obviously, you have Venom, who's the main villain, but there's other villains as well. You have Catwoman,
Hold on.
you have
Something's up.
Wolverine, although Wolverine's not really a villain, but you do have to fight him twice as a boss battle. Vulture, Electro, let's see, Rhino's in there.
Good job, Spider.
Hey, Luke.
And I feel like I'm missing a couple as well, but each villain you fight twice. You fight normal, and then you fight a symbiote version, which a symbiote version of Wolverine is probably the coolest thing I've ever experienced in a video game. And then you also have your allies as well, which if you're Black Spider-Man, you can use the villains as your allies after you defeat them. But you have Luke Cage, you have Moon Knight, you have Black Widow. I think that's it. But tons of characters from Marvel, and I loved it when I was a kid. Seeing all these different characters was an absolute blast, and it still is. I do love the unique combat. You don't really see this a whole lot in other open world Spider-Man games. But once you have two different skill trees, one for Red Spider-Man, one for Black Spider-Man, and each one has its own combat list and different combos, and it's really freaking cool. I absolutely love the combos that you can do in this game, especially with Red Spider-Man. I feel like his combos are a little bit better. The Black Spider-Man is a little bit more powerful, if that makes sense. Or I guess a better way to word it is Red Spider-Man's combos look cooler, while Black Spider-Man combos are just way more powerful. I do wish we did not have to rely on the web strike so much throughout the game. I feel like that's the go-to move whenever you're fighting anything in air or on ground. Which I wish it wasn't that way, because sometimes it makes the combat feel a little bit stale. Like, obviously you don't have to use it, it's just way more efficient than any other combat moves that you're able to do. And last but not least, we have the story / the world of this game. Like I said, it's basically just a zombie apocalypse. You even have people going into quarantine. You are literally killing civilians. Like, you throw civilians off of a building because they're trying to kill you. And eventually the symbiotes just take over the city and there's no more survivors left, and you're just like, you're killing everything. Like, everybody. Like, at that point, they don't look like civilians anymore, but they are, and you're just killing them. And it's kind of crazy. Seeing this in a superhero video game, Spider-Man nonetheless, and you're just killing people in a zombie apocalypse, tell me that isn't the greatest superhero video game idea ever. Like, literally, ever. So with all that being said, this is probably my favorite superhero game I've ever played, with X-Men Origins Wolverine a close second, but that's just because the combat and the gore and all that is just so much fun. But this game, the world that you explore, it's like nothing you'll ever experience in a video game, ever. Or I guess it's nothing that you will ever experience in another superhero game ever. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you guys want to see any other specific videos, comment down below and I will do it. I promise. See you guys in the next one. Peace.